We're finally at that point where I am too old to understand certain trends. And the cracks started to show a few years back with the E meme. Took me a long time to really grasp the concept of E. And now it's morphed into 6-7. That's the new big one. So I brushed up on my studies to learn the etymology of 6-7 and understand it. I had heard about it, some whispers of it during streams where people would make a reference to it and giggle to themselves, and I asked what it was. People would explain it as like derivative of that SpongeBob episode with SpongeBob and Patrick in class and they're laughing about 25, that kind of thing. But as it got bigger and bigger, I started to learn through context clues that wasn't exactly it. So I looked it up, and it's apparently a kid at like a sporting game just said like 6-7 and then did this, and it caught fire recently. Anyway, they say the greatest fear is fear of the unknown, and now that I know 6-7, I don't have to be afraid any longer. Instead, now I can just properly cringe at it. I saw a pretty interesting clip today featuring beloved 6-7 references, and I wanted to share it with all of you because holy fuck, it is a painful watch. Fair warning, it's only coming through on the right channel of the audio.
Football is, you can definitely tell there is a new play caller in town. The offense is looking, the offense is looking a lot more versatile. They're getting their tight end in there with more reps. Still seem really characteristic with the running game, but definitely seeing a lot more passes from Malik Murphy to Trent Walker. And I think even though the game is tied, the offense has looked entirely different, and we'll see how it goes.
Oh. Yikes. Yucky. Yeah, I couldn't do anything to mix the audio together so you could hear it in both channels. I believe that this was just such a miserable thing that videos weren't even meant to capture, that it actually fucking cringed the technology itself and did everything it could in like a self-defense mechanism to try and like spare at least one eardrum here from having to hear this maniac screaming 6-7 at the top of his lungs. So it's pretty clear the group is inebriated. And there's definitely worse, more destructive, more annoying things that drunk people have done on camera. So on the totem pole of degeneracy, this is kinda low. But I gotta tell you, sports fans, there is something particularly embarrassing, something special about the Goob Squad rolling up here with Even Stevens shouting 6-7 at the top of his lungs like it's his war cry, like the last thing he's going to be able to get out on the battlefield. It's just so embarrassing. It is so ass that it's able to elicit an actual fight or flight response just watching this video. Like, again, I only just recently learned the origins of this in the first place, and now seeing it in the state it is here, with adults spamming it like Fortnite emotes in the background of a camera, it just really makes you think. You had the guy looking right down the pipe, straight down the barrel of the camera there, all of his friends getting in on the action, doing this kind of thing. It is an actual symphony of agony. Like, everything that could be awful about a clip is awful here. A reporter just trying to do her job, getting yelled at like 2 feet behind her, ear-piercing screeches from this guy whose voice keeps cracking under the desperate weight of his need to be the center of attention by saying popular emote, popular meme. It's all a masterpiece of disaster.
Through the second half of this game.
Stop! 6-7! 22 years old, by the way. Look at them.
I bet you thought the clip was done, huh? I pulled the wool over your eyes. No, it actually went on for far longer, unfortunately. I don't know what the broadcast was. I don't know why it sits on this shot for so long, like why she is forced to stand there in the middle of this miasma of cringe. But my god, my heart breaks for her, because holy shit, every facet of this is awful. From the clear protagonist 6'7" guy who is so pleased with his joke he even starts recording it himself from his own POV, to his sidekick, his lackey friend who comes in to try and do his own thing with another meme screaming help and then doing this. No one seems to care about that, not even their friends are laughing at that one, so that's a fucking dud. That falls flat, then he gets full of shame, turns around and leaves, and then somehow one of their other friends is on the floor laughing, tickling his belly like he's going Gear 5 Luffy here. He's just over there laughing so hard, tickling himself because this is so hilarious. And then the one guy who stuck his face in the camera is starting to have a come to Jesus moment where he's like, okay, stop. This guy's 22 years old, by the way. Like, everything here is just perfect from the perspective of agony, like misery on camera. It reminds me of that fucker right in the pussy thing from many moons ago, but at least that had the wherewithal to be short and not like drone on endlessly for so long, and it was self-contained. You didn't need like tidbits of lore from outside of it. Like, you didn't, it's not like a Marvel movie where you have to watch like 20 movies or 20 shows to know what's going on in the movie. 6'7", you hear that and you have no idea what it is until you look it up and like connect the dots, follow the breadcrumbs. At least fucker right in the pussy, you knew exactly what that was saying, what that was about, and it was like a flash of lightning, just super quick. One sentence, and then everyone parts ways. They give the mic back, at least in all the ones I saw, and that was that. This, on the other hand, goes on for over a minute. It is a slobber knocker. It overstays its welcome immediately and then stays planted there for another minute longer of just constant 6'7". It is brutal. Anyway, just wanted to share that. That's really about it. See ya.